Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the class. And in today's class, we'll discuss the problems on decision tree. And specifically, we had done a few problems on decision tree which came in different years, probably in the. So in today's class, we'll do this problem which came last year, 2020. For your seniors, we're gonna do this problem. This came for I think marks in the case study, and this is not at all much lengthy compared to the other problems what we have seen in the decision tree in the past. So this is quite is okay kind of problem. So there's a company called Nirmala Limited. Okay, that company has the investment proposal which requires an outlay of 40,000 rupees. So you need to put 40,000 rupees for this business. Okay, so 1 minute. So let me put it here one day. So you can see this in this problem. So there's a company called Nirmala Limited. It has an investment proposal require an outlay of 40,000 rupees. So initial investment required to do with this business is 40,000 rupees. Okay. So I can write initial investment for this to go into this business is 40,000 rupees. Initial investment required is 40,000 rupees. Okay. Then the investment proposal is expected to have 2 year economic life with no salvage value. Fine. So no salvage value. In the year one, there's a zero point 0.4 probability that the cash flow will be 25,000. So for the cash flow to be 25,000, the probability is zero point 0.4. So for 30,000, the probability will be 1 minus zero point 0.4 means 0.6, 60%. Okay, and that it would be 30,000. Okay, I hope you understood this. So initial investment is 40,000. So initial investment is 40,000. Year zero. So in year zero, you put 40,000 rupees. So two things can happen. So there's a 40% probability that you will generate a cash flow. There's a 40% probability that you will generate a cash flow of 25,000 rupees. 25,000 rupees. Okay, and there's a 60% probability that you'll generate a cash flow of 30,000 rupees, I guess. Yeah, 30,000 rupees. Fine. Then what? Then for second year, if your cash flow is 25,000, then three things can happen. Okay, 12, 16, 22. 12, 16, 22. So this is year one. This would be, this is the data given for the year one. This is the data given for the year one. Okay, now for year two, three things can happen. For year two, three things can happen regarding to your cash flow. So either you'll get a cash flow of 12, 16, and 22. So 12, 16, and 22. Okay, and 22. The probability is given 0.2, 0.3, 0.5, 0.2, 0.3, 0.5. This is 0.2 probability, 0.3 probability, 0.5 probability. Okay, similarly, this if your cash flow is 30,000, then three things can happen. Then if your cash flow is 30,000, okay, no, this was the figure. This was for another, yeah. So if your cash flow is 25,000, then this can happen. 12, 16, 22, 12, 16, 22, 12, 16, 22. Yeah, that is what I wrote. No? Yeah. Okay. Then if your cash flow is 30,000, three things can happen. 20, 25, 30. 20, 20, 20, 25, 20, 25, and 30. And their probabilities are given to you. Probability 0.4, 0.5, 0.1. 0.4, 0.5, 0.1, 0.4, 0.5, 0.1. Okay, guys, and this is the data for the year 2. This is the data for the year 2. This is year 2 data. Okay, and what is the discounting rate? Discounting rate is 10%. Discounting rate is 10%. Discounting rate is 10%. Okay, so discounting rate is 10%. Okay, so what you can do, you can find your expected cash flow. Expected cash flow. You can find expected cash flow. So this 20% of 12,000. So that would be 2400. 30% of this would be 4800, and 50% would be 11,000. 11,000. 50% of that, 30% 4800. Okay, and this would be 0012. Okay, then this would be 2,92,000. 29,200. So your cash flow will be 29,200 rupees. Okay, this you get after year 2. And similarly, if I find the present expected cash flow at the end of year 1, at the end of year 2, at the end of year 2, if your cash flow is if your cash flow is 25,000, then this would be expected cash flow at the end of year 2. Here the expected cash flow, 10% of 20,000 is 2,000. So 40% would be 8,000. Then 50% of 25,000 will be 12,500, and 10% of 30,000 will be 3,000. So this is 500. Then 13, 23,500. This is the second case, expected cash flow. So what you can do, this is your second year value for the cash flow. So what you can do, this is the data, this expected cash flow, which this is here, which is 29,200. This is 29,200. This you are getting at the end of year 2. This you are getting at the end of year 2. What you can do, you can bring it here at the end of year 1. How will you bring it here at the end of year 1? By discounting that. So 29,200. If you discount at the WACC, what is the WACC? So WACC is 10%. So if you discount this at 10%, 1 plus 10%, so you will find the value of this cash flow at the end of year 1. I hope you're understanding. All English and all you can write in exam by yourself. This part, I hope you can easily understand. This is 23,500. This is 23,500. This is the expected cash flow at the end of year 2. If you want to bring it here, so this would be 23,500 divided by 1 plus 10%. The year 1, if you go back to year 1, so you need to go back by 1 year. I hope you understand me. So now what is your total cash flow? Now the same thing, now the same Venn diagram. I can now, not Venn diagram, decision tree diagram. I can spot this. This is 40,000. This is 40,000. And now two things can happen. Now there's a probability that you get a cash flow of 0.4. Okay, and that is equal to how much is the cash flow? So now this cash flow is equal to 25,000 plus this is equal to 25,000 plus 29,200 plus 29,200 divided by 1 plus 10%. Similarly, your probability that your cash flow is 0.6. So here your cash flow would be, here your cash flow here would be 30,000. Cash flow would be 30,000 plus 10%, 23,500, 23,500 divide by 1 plus 10%. I hope you understand. So you can find this value, you can solve this, find this value. If you want, you can solve this, find this value. This is 25,000 plus, this is 25,000 plus 29,200 divided by 1.1. 29,200 divided by 1.1. 29,200 divided by 1.1. 26545.45. 26545. 26545. 26545.45. So this is 30,000 plus 23,500. 23,500 divided by 1.1. 21363. 21363.64. You can find this cash flows. So you can find this cash flows. You can find their value. So this figure, if I add this figure with 25,000, and if I add this figure with 20,000, 30,000, 31, 2, 3, 4, 30,000. So then it is 51,000, 51,363. This is 51,363.64. This is 51,545.45. Can you understand? So now this would be your cash flow. Okay, so I hope you're understanding this. It's a very simple question. So this you're putting 40,000 rupees year zero. Okay, year zero. Year one, the probability 40% is the probability that you will generate a cash flow of 51,545.45, or there's a 60% probability that you will generate 51,363.64. Okay, so you can find the NPV. So what is the NPV of the project? So the NPV of the project is minus 40,000 plus 40% is the probability that you will generate 51,545.45. Okay, plus 60% is the probability that you will generate 51,363.64 divide by this you are getting after year one. 1 plus 10% to the power year one. So when we talk about NPV, NPV is minus 40,000 plus, so 0.4, 0.6. So this is 0.4, this into 0.6, and do the sum. Yeah. So if you do this, if you find this value, 40% of this, that is 20,618.18. This is 30,818.18 divided by 1.1. You add them, divide by 1.1. So you add them, so your NPV is your NPV. So your NPV is minus 40,000 plus 51,436.36 divided by 1.1. That is, so your NPV is minus 40,000 plus 46,760.33. So your NPV is 6,760.3. So this is your NPV of the project, guys. If I clear, right, everyone? Anyone, any doubt? Anyone, any doubt? To construct the decision tree for the proposed investment project, what net present value will the project yield if the worst outcome is realized, and what is the probability of occurrence of the NPV? What will the best NPV and the probability of its occurrence? Will the project accepted? Yes, the project will be accepted. So what is the NPV if the worst outcome is realized? There is nothing called worst here. Out of two, which is what is the NPV if the worst outcome is realized? Best NPV. So best NPV and all means if they want me to do individually, we can do individually considering one part of the model. So that way we can do this problem. But I don't know why they are talking about two scenarios they have given, that you either get 25,000 or you get 30,000. So if you are getting 25,000, then this is the net cash inflow you are getting. This is the net cash inflow you are getting at the end of year 2. So when you discount this value 29,200, if you find the NPV, if you find the what you say discounting value of this at the year 1, so 29,200, when you divided it by year 1, you got this value. Okay, and you got this value. So in this case, this looking better, this looking worst. Then I added it with this year 1 data. Okay, I added with the year 1 data. I got this. When then I taken the probability. So then you can say this looking better. This is looking better. Okay, so this is looking better. In that case, this is looking better when you multiply it with the probability, because this probability is more, the second outcome probability is more. So in that case, if you are talking about that, and then when you found the present value of that, then you found the present value of that. You found the present value of this. If I do this divide by 1.1, if I do divide this by 1.1, and this I'll divide it by 1.1. Okay, so this looking better, and your in this in this case this looking better, but then this is less than 240,000. I cannot do it individually here, because if I do it individually, I'm getting this figures 18,743.8, 28,086.53. I cannot do them individually because these figures are less than 40,000. So really, I don't know what the examiner means that construct the decision tree. We found the NPV also. So what is the probability of it occurrence? So the probability of it occurrence, so this is 0.4, 0.6. Probability of that occurrence. What is the probability of it occurrence? So this is like you're putting 0.4 and then you have three probability 0.2, 0.3 and 0.5. Then you have next thing, next probability is 0.6. You have probability that 0.4, 0.5, 0.1, 0.4, 0.5, 0.1. You just find the only the what you say conditional probability of this. So this is 0.4 into 0.2. This is 0.08. This is 0.4 into 0.3. This is 0.12. This is 0.4 into 0.5. That would be 0.2. Half of that. So then this is 10. This is 2, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4. This is 0.4. There's no point, only 0.4, 0.4. So there's no logic of discussing probability here, the conditional probability and all. So this I'll suggest you do this much in exam if you get the problem. I don't think your examiner can deduct any of your marks if you do like this way. This way you'll get the answer very easily. Any doubt, anyone? Any doubt, anyone? You could have done it like this directly by using the NPV formula. You will get the same answer. Minus 40,000 plus minus 40,000 plus 0.4 into 25,000 plus 0.6 into 30,000 divide by 1.1. Okay, then plus 0.4 into what the cash flow you got, 29,200 plus 0.6 into 23,500 divide by 1.1 square. So one step you'll get the answer. This is, if you do like this, in one step you'll get the answer. If you do like this, you'll get the answer in one step. Direct way. If you want the answer in one step, you'll get the answer. No need to do step-by-step calculation. Minus 40,000 plus 40% of this. 10% of this is 2500. No, so 20% would be 5,000. So this would be 10,000. 40%. This 60%. 60% of 30,000. No, not 3,000. This is 30,000. Half of 30 is what? 15. Half of 10 is what? 3. So that would be 18. 18,000 divided by 1.1 plus 40% of this. 40%. So 2920 forza. This is 8. 9 forza 36. 3 carry 11680. 11680 plus 60% of this. 60% of this. 60% 2350. 60%. 3 carry 18 plus 3 21. 2 carry 14. 14,100 divided by 1.1 square. If you do it directly, you get the same thing. So 11,680, then 14,100. This is 807525780. So if you want, you can do it directly like this. So this is 28,000 divided by 1.1 plus 25,780 divided by 1.1 square minus 40,000. You do this calculation, you will get the same NPV. Do this 28,000 So 28,000 divided by 1.1 and 25,780. 25,780 divided by 1.2. If you do the sum, just minus 40,000. So if you do, you will get the same figure 6, 7. So this is minus 40,000 plus you solve it. So this value you are getting this, and this value if you add them, you will get 46,760.33. Your net NPV in this case also 6,760.33. I hope you understood this. So directly also you can do it like that. Any doubt, any question, anyone? So here no need to get into best case, worst case. If the examiner has not at all mentioned properly what is the best case scenario here, what is the worst case scenario here, okay, into how to do that, nothing they have mentioned. So you simply ignore that. Lot of questions last year, this question, if you see this question, if you see this question, if you see this question, this case study, this is totally copied from Prasanna Chandra book, word by word. So simply these questions are copied from some book. So we have to spend some time wondering the kind of questions which is getting set up. It would be great if that can be done. But anyway, so I hope you understood this. Anyone, any doubt? Any question, anyone, before I wind up the class? So guys, for theory, for risk management theory, I have sent you in your group the book on risk management. Okay, in your group, I have sent you this book, Risk Analysis and Capital Budgeting. The theory part for this chapter, you can study from this book. Okay, everyone, anyone, any doubt, any question, anyone? So I believe no one have any doubt. So it's time to wind up the class. Thank you, everyone. I'll see you all tomorrow. Take care, everyone. Thank you.